what a September this is going to be, because this is our second week in a row where one of my big movies that based on the initial teaser, I mean, I was super hyped for. Uh, I really fumbled at the goal line, if you know what I'm saying. Ha ha! This week we are talking about the new film, Him. Um, this film is directed by first newcomer Justin Tipping, and is produced by Monkey Paw Productions, Jordan Peele's company, which is very fitting because this movie feels like my mom saying, "No, we have Jordan Peele at home," while somehow also being very kind of like negative to Jordan Peele. If you'd like our thoughts on Jordan Peele, Nick and I forever ago did a live stream where we ranked, we reviewed, and then talked about um, the Jordan Peele's films. I believe that's up. If not, it will be at some point. It was, we did it on Facebook years ago, and then when all those lives were being brought down, they're slowly being put back up here on YouTube on our Movie Club Archive playlist. So make sure you keep it on that playlist. All of our previous Twitch streams and our Facebook live streams are going up there slowly but surely. Um, and if you really want to be in the know about that kind of stuff, um, then you got to do the YouTube things. You got to like, you got to subscribe and share the videos. As the cat is trying to figure out how to get to the window or the wall. Yeah, you can tell that nobody is home with me this weekend. It's a dad joke season. Anyway, do the YouTube things and make sure you join us here in not this coming week, the week after. Yes. Nick and I are doing our September live stream, and we're going to be talking about these Sony Spider-Verse movies without Spider-Man. So, if you want to know my opinion on first-time viewings of 5 of the 6 of those movies, then you don't want to miss it. Right now, we're talking about Him. Man, I really, really was excited for this movie, and I know it is getting dragged through the mud right now. And kind of rightfully so. Look, this movie is definitely, I definitely applaud somebody coming out with this as their first feature. And look, I appreciate what we're doing. I do. It's essentially, what if I watched a whole lot? I watched all of Jordan Peele's movies and The Devil's Advocate and that and Any Given Sunday. And that Will Smith like concussion movie. Um, and I will say that despite everything, um, Marlon Wayans is fantastic in this film, playing this character, this um, real goat of a football legend. He's fantastic. I think this may be his best, probably his best, honest, like actual acting performance since Requiem for a Dream. He is fantastic in this movie. Unfortunately, our main character, played by Tyreek Withers, I don't know the man. I don't know if he was an athlete first and then an actor, or if he's just an actor who's playing this athlete, but he gives off athlete as an actor vibes. Um, because he kind of has the same facial expression through every aspect of this movie, even when it starts to go truly like poo poo bananas. Um, but Marlon Wayans is great in it. Jim Jeffries is really good in this movie. I kind of want more from him in it. Um, which is kind of the first time I think anybody said that about Jim Jeffries. Tim Heidecker is also in it as well, and very loud, being very Tim Heidecker. So that works. And yeah, it's this totally. I understand why it was picked up by his production, because a lot of this has kind of that, again, that like knockoff pill appeal. Um, because it definitely is very much digging into several themes, um, and digging into several different ideas and social commentaries. The only problem is we're trying to carve a turkey with a jackhammer, because so much of this movie, it was literally just sitting there being like, "Oh no, I got it! Like I got it." Um, it's very unsubtle, and so at the end, when you do figure out what's going on, you're kind of like exasperated because you figured it out. You the moment. I mean, it's not subtle that he wants to go play for this. Uh, he wants to play for the Saviors, and he has to go and spend time in the desert to prove that he's worthy to be the leader of these men. Um, and there are different trials and tribulations he must go through before ultimately he must decide what is he willing to sacrifice, and do you get it? Well, also touching on the idea of, you know, professional athletes, just what they put their bodies through, what they put their families through, the idea of the dynamics of a player and a team owner, and how that has been somewhat less than stellar historically, uh, especially uh, knowing the ratio of race uh, between athlete and owner. There's even, it feels like a weird subtle hint at like a dig at football players being with these ultra famous uh, female blonde uh, icons of pop culture. Again, this movie is as subtle as a brick. But all the while I'm watching it going, man, Marlon Wayans is so good in this. This Plank Wood he's acting with is not great, but like I'm with you. It's just that I need you to not treat me like I'm stupid. It's very meandering, which is weird because it's like a 96-minute movie, but like you are in it and you're just like, this ends one way. So I will say I wasn't expecting all of the films like gore effects budget to be at the ending, which again is like I know what's going on and I'm ready for it, and then it ends kind of weird to where I was somehow waiting for the movie to catch up to what I knew what was going on, while also kind of ending confusingly. Um, Almost like it feels like we didn't quite know how to end it. Um, but it's just, again, it's when you hear people complain about a Jordan Peele movie or a Alex Garland movie or a David Lynch movie or even a Zach Krager's movie, because that's the other thing too is the tone in this movie is awful a lot of times, because Marlon Wayans is playing a very intense character, but then also there's like weird jokes. Um, and Jim Jeffries is a comedian, and Tim Heidecker, but they're playing serious characters and they have serious moments, but there's also like weird humor in the movie, and then there's these weird moments of like storylines are just completely forgotten. Characters are just kind of forgotten out of the movie. A character will do something that you think will have a consequence with the outside world that ultimately comes of nothing. Um, it's just a mess. It's a mess, and um, again, it's the worst tropes of those filmmakers. When anybody complains about the things from their movies, this movie kind of does all of them, and I don't want to crap all over it, because it is a first time filmmaker, first time writers, and it's a it's an interesting stuff in the movie. It's just nothing. It's not done in a way to make itself stand out as original from things you've seen. Um, and even if his company wasn't producing it, you can watch this movie and be like, "Yep, somebody's seen Nope and Us and Get Out. Somebody saw them a lot." Um, so it's not a movie that I can't imagine being the worst of the year, like some people are saying, because it is getting trashed. But it is not. It is not a good movie. It's a meh, which I hate the word meh, but it's a meh uh, amalgamation of a lot of themes you've seen before in much better films, and so I don't really recommend checking it out. But um, I just don't. Uh, so that is him. Um, and again, I think him lost sight of the game plan, didn't play enough good D, and we gotta look at film and see how we can improve, in the off season. But until then, next week I am excited. I should be excited. I'm on an 0 for 2 stretch in this month, but I'm excited because one of our best performing reviews is The Strangers, Chapter 1. And I am in the minority of saying I like The Strangers Chapter 1. And it's one that Ash and I went and saw. Um, and I do like it. I more than the OG Strangers. The OG Strangers is fantastic. Um, I highly recommend, if you haven't, go watch my review for Chapter 1. I explained to you why. Um, Plus, we can bump the numbers up on that video as well. But Strangers Chapter 2 is coming out, and I am excited to see what we're going to do with it. I think we've kind of set up this world, and I want to see what the second part's going to be. It's been a while since we had a trilogy that hasn't fallen on its face. I'm looking at you, Halloween and The Exorcist. So, I mean, we have the X trilogy, the Pearl, the Me and Goth trilogy. So we have that, but there's a lot of other stuff that just that second movie came out and just or no, didn't even come out. Sometimes the first movie took a dump on that, but I am excited to see what The Strangers Chapter 2 has to offer. And it's also a rare time where I can get my 16-year-old to actually go to a horror movie with me. So I'm even more excited about that. So next week we'll be talking The Strangers Chapter 2. And then again, October 4th, because it's a short month this month. And it's a long month like next month. Nick and I will be live here on YouTube and our Twitch channel talking about the Sony Spider-Man-less Spider-Verse movies. I have seen Venom, and that was it until we decided to do this. So Nick suggested we do this, and I foolishly said, yeah, that sounds fine. So you're not only going to get our reviews of all 6 movies, 5 of which I've never seen, but we're also then going to rank them. I've got 2 more to watch. I won't tell you which 2, but I will also tell you that there's one that I expected to really hate that I kind of had a lot of fun with. So you'll want to join in to know which one that is because I must be crazy. But until then, don't forget, Nick will be joining. Nick should have a new post theater clarity goes up this week. I believe he was able to go to the theater. He was going to talk about The Long Walk, which is why I went with him instead. Lucky so-and-so. Anyway, we'll tune in for that on Wednesday, and I will see you guys with The Strangers Chapter 2 next week. Bye.